Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be going over the reverse stockinette stitch. This video is kind of a part 2 to the first video I did on the stockinette stitch because the reverse stockinette stitch is almost exactly the same as the stockinette stitch, it's just flipped over. But in this video I'm going to be going over kind of the uses of the reverse stockinette stitch and what to look out for when you encounter a pattern or a project that calls for the reverse stockinette stitch. So you're probably thinking, well, isn't this reverse stockinette stitch the same thing as the stockinette stitch? And it is, for the most part. The stockinette stitch, which I've gone over in previous videos, is the most common stitch that you'll find in fabrics and projects, in pretty much anything that you're doing with knitting. The flip side of the stockinette stitch is called the reverse stockinette stitch. The side that has all the purl stitches, which is this side, is going to be your reverse stockinette stitch. The side with all the knit stitches, that's going to be your normal stockinette stitch. So for example, on this little project I have, this is just ribbed knitting. The thing that causes the ribbed knitting is the combination of the stockinette stitches and the reverse stockinette stitches. What the reverse stockinette stitch tends to do is it sends everything to the back of the project. So the reverse stockinette stitches are these little stitches that are in between the ribs that I have here. So each little ridge here is going to be the knit stitch, and because the reverse stockinette sends everything to the back, it pulls everything together. Here's a better example of what I just tried to explain. With this project that I'm working on, the cable stitches are the knit stitch, and then everything that's in the back here, that's the reverse stockinette stitch. So for the cables, they're the stockinette stitch, which is going to bring everything forward, and then when you're doing something that needs to be sent to the back, like something that would be laying behind all the cables, that's when you'll do something like the reverse stockinette stitch, because it does a really nice purl pattern and it sends it to the back. The downside of the stockinette stitch and the reverse stockinette stitch is that the back side of a project like that is going to look pretty hideous. This actually, it doesn't look that bad, but it doesn't look as nice as the front side that you're working on. The back side of any stockinette stitch project is going to be reverse of what you have on the front. In this case, the back side is almost completely stockinette stitch, and then I've got these little holes of reverse stockinette stitch, because on the front side it's almost the exact opposite. I have a lot of reverse stockinette stitch that these cables are laying on top of, and only a couple parts where it's pure stockinette stitch that shines through on the back. That's still kind of confusing, but I'm going to show you what it looks like in practice. So here's the swatch that I did in my previous tutorial on how to make the stockinette stitch, and I'm gonna basically cut half of this in half and make half of it the reverse stockinette, the other half I'm gonna keep it as the stockinette stitch, and we'll see what happens. So for this first half I'm going to switch it to the reverse stockinette stitch, so I'm just gonna start purling for about 5 stitches here. And what that is going to do is it's going to start forming the reverse stockinette stitch and send everything to the back. So now on the second half I'm going to knit this like normal, which will help keep the stockinette stitch that was being built. On the flip side now you can barely see it, but there's been a little bit of a change. So these are still going to be purls from the flip side, but then I've got these 5 knit stitches that are stockinette now on this side. So I'm going to keep building that by just keep following the knit the knits and purl the purls rule here. Here's my swatch after doing a couple more rows, and now it's a little more clearer what it is doing here. So here we have the reverse stockinette stitch on this side, and this side we have the stockinette stitch. And as you can kind of see, what's happening is each one of these is making kind of a little hill. If you hold it like this, you can kind of see the stockinette stitch is kind of going this way. The stockinette stitch on this side, which is the reverse stockinette stitch on this side, is going this way. So when that happens, it kind of pushes one side up and pushes the other side down, and that's how you're able to do things like cables, ribs, and other things like that. So just in review, this side we have the reverse stockinette stitch. It's pushing everything to the back and curling inwards. The stockinette stitch that we have on this half is curling outwards, and it's on top. On the flip side of this, we have the exact opposite thing happening. So we've got a larger section of reverse stockinette stitches that's going inwards, and then we have a smaller bit here on the end of normal stockinette stitches that's pushing outwards. And so those are the differences between the reverse stockinette and the normal stockinette. You knit them the same ways, but hopefully that was a little helpful for any project that you're working on that calls for a reverse stockinette stitch and you're wondering what that is. It's basically just the stockinette stitch, but the flip side of it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.